Today I'm going to use my leftover cranberry sauce to make these delicious cranberry sauce bars. The ingredients are very simple: some flour, sugar, an egg yolk, softened butter, and baking powder, plus leftover cranberry sauce. First, line an 8x8 pan with some parchment paper. The cranberry sauce gets really sticky when you bake it, so you do need that lining. And then we'll just mix up this simple flour crust, which just starts with flour, some sugar, and the baking powder. Mix that together first. I like to just use a fork for this, and the reason for it is the next step of fork is the best instrument, but just first mix these dry ingredients together until everything looks like it's really well distributed. Then we're going to add in the wet ingredients, if you will, the egg yolk and the softened butter. And now is when I use my fork to just kind of cut into that. You can use a pastry cutter for this, but a fork is just as easy. Just keep cutting in, and you can see it's like, wow, this doesn't even look like it's going to work, right? And yet keep doing it. And as you mix this all together, you will end up with a very crumbly looking batter. But you do want it to be pretty uniform in appearance, and once you have it to that level, it's ready to go. Now is when we will take that 8x8 pan that's been lined with parchment, add half of that flour mixture to the pan, spread it out a little bit, and then you will want to use your hand to pat it down. We're using this to form the bottom crust of our bars. So pat it in very, very well, get all the way to the edges, to the corners, and form a nice firm bottom crust. Once you have that ready to go, you are going to add the cranberry sauce. Now, if you don't have a full 2 cups of cranberry sauce, you can for sure use a little bit of jam to supplement this, or you could have just a slightly thinner layer if you want to try that. Personally, I think a little bit of raspberry jam mixed with your cranberry sauce would be a delightful addition, but you do you. There's a whole lot of room for creativity with this. But make sure you get that layer all the way to all the edges again and all the corners. This is your flavor, so you want it in every bite. And then you take the rest of that flour mixture and add it to the top. You're just going to kind of sprinkle it over the whole top area, and then I like to spread it out a little bit. You don't have to pat it down, just spread it out and leave it kind of crumbly. And then this is ready to bake. We're going to put that in the preheated oven for 30 to 35 minutes. And when it comes out, you will see it's golden brown on top and looking quite lovely. You do want to make sure this cools completely before you try to cut it. But when you do, you'll see it's looking beautiful and delicious. This is probably my favorite way to use leftover cranberry sauce. I hope you give it a try, because if you do, I know you will love it. Enjoy.